Stefano, congratulations. Welcome back. We've missed you. How are you?
Martin, it's great to be connected, unfortunately only via video, but that's the way it is. So thank you very much for the warm welcome. I'm all right. As you can imagine, I would have preferred to start this new adventure in London, in the offices, together with my colleagues, with all our people. But in this moment, that's the way it is, and we need to make sure that the business is running without being able to join so far physically. But all okay, thanks God.
Well, you're building the dream CV, really, in that you were leading up to becoming the team principal of the Ferrari Formula One team, the CEO in charge of Lamborghini road cars, and now the CEO and day-to-day boss of Formula One. It's not going to get much better than that. That's incredible.
Well, that's really, sometimes I wake up to say if it's true or not, but that's absolutely incredible. You're right, but I take that as a great responsibility, as you can imagine, because you know very well, Martin, and this is an incredible business. I was lucky, and I did an incredible experience in Ferrari, and incredible times with the good and bad times. I had an incredible experience in the Volkswagen Group, 2 years in Audi, and then in Lamborghini 5 years. It seems to be so quick the time that I passed with these guys, but these experiences were really incredible. I mean, for a person that loves motorsport, love cars, with the two most iconic brand in Italy, and now have this opportunity is really great.
How do you find Formula One today, now that you're back in it? What do you think of it?
Well, I think that is great, I have to say, because I'm always a positive guy, as you know, and I think that sometimes I'm quite disappointed to hear not so many, but some negativity around our business. And I have to say that normally, in motorsport, there has been always a situation where cycles are hitting the seasons. You had the great driving, great teams. You are, in any case, in a situation today where I can see the numbers. The platform is really, really solid. It's clear that we have challenges in front of us that has to be our priority. But I think that the health of the platform is really good. I mean, and I want to start, let's say, claiming the fact that it's time to talk really seriously positive about who we are and what we are offering. And I think also, if I may look into the future, there are great opportunities that also this pandemic moment is putting in front of us. And we need to make sure together with the teams, to all the stakeholders, to the drivers, that we can take the benefit out of it and be ready for the relaunch, for the renaissance of our life.
I completely agree with you, actually. I've been a little bit worried and depressed about F1 the last 4 or 5 years, but I see the future looking a lot brighter with teams rebuilding, sponsors coming in, and all sorts of opportunities, some really exciting young drivers. So I'm with you on that. So what are your goals and ambitions as the boss of F1?
Well, first of all, Martin, let me say one thing that you haven't anticipated. Talking about drivers, they will be at the center of the future of Formula One. I think that they represent the real soul of our sport. They're their faces, their ability to, I would say, to interpret that not only the driver itself, but the ambassador of our sport will be crucial in the future. And I want to make sure that they understand that because I do that, and far better than anyone else. We didn't have in the last decade so many good drivers as we have now. So drivers, I would say that is not a problem for today. Incredible young talented driver, incredible record to be achieved for Lewis, for others. So the challenge there is great. Teams, we have Aston Martin that is coming back in sport. It's an incredible news. We have an incredible things that has an iconic brand with the fact that they want to relaunch the business is using the F1 as a platform, and it's a great news. We don't have to forget that. And of course, we have Mercedes that has confirmed the wish to stay in Formula One. There are solid teams today, and I think that what has been done in the last years to make sure that the system is enough strong to make sure that the teams can stay alive with the cost cap, with the new regulation that will be ready in 2022, I think that the fundamentals are really there. So going back to your question, I think that first of all, in the short term, we need to make sure that 2021, the season can start in the right way. We are still in the pandemic situation, but in credit to Chase and all F1 people, last year, a full season was done, 17 races, and no one would have thought that was possible at the beginning. So I think that is a credit to what Chase and all these people did. But today is the proof that we can pass through this year, depending really how the situation will evolve. But then after that, we need to prepare the future. And I see, in terms of interest, a lot of new places that are really wanted to have Formula One in the future. So it's up to us to decide what are the main important and strategic area on which we need to develop the sport with having races. Then the second priority is to make sure that teams are strong and sustainable, and the sport is great. So we need to give a platform of great enthusiasm, a great energy. That is something that is part of what has been always the heritage of Formula One. Now we need to take it to another level. And then I think that most importantly, we need to keep working on the fact that Formula One is representing and will represent even further, the new way of pushing value of our society. We need to take on board the responsibility that was launched with the We Race as One. We need to work very strongly with the teams at OEM on the sustainability project. And these are the center of our strategic plan for the future. So that's why I go back to the first point. My optimism in looking ahead in Formula One is there, because we have all the elements that we need to push together in order to make sure that what we are all doing, all what we are living, will be the platform where we can engage new fans that will be different from the one that of our age maybe we're used to something, not in terms of attraction, but also in terms of brand extension that we can offer. Maybe and for sure offering first of all a great event at the track where someone really want to go because there is an incredible initiatives that you can live, have the experience, and then also offering another way to be integrated in what we can offer through the media, through the new possibility of a social platform, where, as you know, and as we know very well, the young generation wants to be really part of all what we are doing. So they want to be really protagonists of their life. So we are thinking of really a lot of new initiatives to make sure that everyone is engaged in this product.
So many points to pick up on that really comprehensive answer. Let me work through a few of them. You're the circus master now, and your high wire act, the reigning world champion, Sir Lewis Hamilton, is not yet signed up or confirmed to be on the grid. What's your information on that?
Well, the information, I think that, Lewis is a protagonist. Lewis has in front of him an incredible possibility to become the best in terms of numbers. So that the challenge there is incredible. I'm really looking forward to see him fighting on the track with the way that he's also now behaving as a man, not only as a driver. So as you can imagine, I don't know any other information. I'm waiting for the news for Toto to release and for Lewis to confirm. It will be for sure a very important, and everyone is waiting for that. So that's the same kind of attitude that I have, like all the supporters of Formula One.
Isn't a 23 race schedule for this season, given the enduring pandemic that we have, too optimistic?
Well, what I can share is the fact that we are, and I'm in contact on a daily basis with all the organizers, because we know that the pandemic is still there, and we know very well about it. That's why we changed the place in the calendar on Australia. But so far, the information that we have that everyone would like really to go ahead with the plan. Of course, we need to be flexible enough to understand that mainly, maybe in the first part of the season, we may have some event with no public or with restricted number of public. But what I can assure our supporters, our fans, that really we want to make sure that the season is there. We have a commitment. We want to take that on board. We have possible alternatives in case of, But so far, no one has given us different information for what we share. There's no reason to lie. There's no reason to say something that is not right and correct. This is what we know today, but we know how the pandemic has evolved, so we need to be ready for a flexible approach on the season. And 23 races is a very important number of races, no doubt, in terms of quantity, in terms of attention, in terms of dedication of the people. There could be, two positions on that respect. Someone can say there are too many, some other that is not a problem. I would say that this equation will solve itself by the fact that if we are able to deliver an incredible product, we may go to a situation where maybe we can go back to a fewer number of races, having maybe the chance of having a rotation, a possibility for certain Grand Prix, keeping a focus on different areas. So this is something that is in our plan to think carefully this year, get it ready, as I said, when the world will be normal again.
Can Formula One and the Formula One team survive if we had another season like last year, which was fundamentally Europe and the Middle East? And clearly they're going to have much less prize money this year incoming to their budgets.
Well, in all fairness, I think that what Liberty did in order to be ready to help the team, it was an incredible gesture. I think that the fundamentals with the budget cap is a very important element to consolidate this base. But you're right. I mean, you can not have a sponsor that are not happy to have guests around the world because you cannot offer them the service. I think that I would say I want to be optimistic. I hope that this year is really the transition year versus the end of this situation, because if this crisis will go a bit longer, for sure is something that could jeopardize the success of what we're talking about. But we really hope that within the end of 2021, we are heading already at the end of the season with Grand Prix that are having the objective of having crowd back again around the grandstand.
You touched on it earlier. Formula One made two very big statements last year. Let's talk about the first one, diversity. What are your ambitions and actions on that in the years ahead? And will we, for example, see drivers with access and time on the grid to take the knee or make whatever expressions they want to make?
I think that is a point on which last year was very focused on the racism point. But diversity, and we race as one, I think that will give us the opportunity to highlight the time before the starting of the race, to use these minutes to highlight values related to this program and to this specific subject. So I think that what we have in mind is to use this time to share with the drivers and the team how we can implement the attention that F1 World will have to have, not only to the end of the season, but to the diversity, and we race as one program. So we will use this moment to make sure that everyone will understand that the Formula One is not living out of this world. Formula One wants to have an active role on enhancing these values.
So it's a high priority for you?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. And I think that what is good, I think that, drivers that now more and more realize that they are the ambassador of Formula One in a different dimension, not only in terms of technical skills, but also in terms of the way that they can put out the right message of Formula One. I think they will appreciate that. Of course, it's something that we don't want to be political, because that's not our business, but we want to highlight the values of the society. And I think the young driver have a different understanding and different sensibility or sensitivity to this subject. And I think we go for it because it will be a very important message that Formula One has been the first and will be even in the future protagonists on this subject.
Another big statement's been about sustainability. How do you plan to keep Formula One relevant in this ever-changing world of ours and world of motoring and motorsport?
Well, that's a great debate. Sustainability can be seen on the CO2 dimension, or sustainability has a lot of other things related to. But let's focus on the emission or technology. I think that Formula One has a great future to showcase that there is not only electrification in the automotive world. I think that hybridization is a great path that will have a great future, and Formula One has to use this to make sure that also OEM will invest in order to show that there is this way of being sustainable in a different way. So that's something that I want to focus the attention on the teams, on the OEM for the future, with a big attention on cost. The mistake that was done in the past was related to put only technology at the head of the priority and not the cost. I think that if we talked about the pure technology, we don't have to forget that the actual engine of Formula One is the most efficient engine in the world. So we don't have to deny that. And this is a value. In the future, we need to make sure that the hybrid technology that will be used has a relevance for the road cars, but also will start from a very difficult investment and cost base, because it's not possible that the power unit in Formula One can cost what it's costing today. I think there is a big margin on that. And one of the ideas that we have is we would like to involve teams and OEM to try to anticipate the new engine even earlier than what is expected today on regulation, and make sure that these kind of things will be part of the agenda. And I'm sure that we can do it.
The icing on the cake would be if you could attract a further OEM, as you call it, a manufacturer into the sport. How confident are you of that?
What I can say is that we are in discussion with other manufacturers that for the moment they prefer to stay still quiet. But the good news is that there are other people, more than people, company, very important companies that are really keen to understand what is the value that they can bring home with using the F1 platform. But not only in terms of technology, also in terms of what the value of Formula One can bring to the automotive manufacturer. I think that one of the biggest challenges that automotive manufacturers have today is to be felt younger. There is this kind of a fight between the old school of OEM and the new OEM that are coming in the mobility side. We are not for sure part of the mobility side in terms of what we want to achieve as a sport, but I think that the OEM can use that platform to change also the fresh image they maybe need for the future for them.
Do you have any desires to change things such as race format or the television, digital, online offerings? What's in your mind?
I think that we have to have a great respect with regard to the media relationship, a great respect and attention to the one that have shown the relationship that we have today, because we don't have to forget that thanks to them and thanks to you, we are so strong. So this will be always the focus on our future presentation. Of course, we cannot deny that we need to be open to understand how the world is changing in terms of offer. So in terms of extending the possibility of the offer, because that's something that we need to do in terms of OTT, in terms of digital platform, in terms of products. And this is something that, for example, maybe at the beginning, the media that are showing TV were a little bit reluctant on products like Netflix that we did in the last years. But then at the end of the day, that was beneficial to both, because one was activating better on the other side. So I think that we need to have this holistic approach in making sure that we don't lose opportunity. And when I'm saying not losing opportunity, I think that I want to say that young generation are all multi-connected. So we need to offer multi-program to be quite spot on in terms of intensity, and you know very, very well how to do it. And this is what we need, because you know that if we are boring in our offer, then people switching off and changing not only channel but subject. Then going back to race format, I think one thing that I can anticipate is we will bring back the starting time at the hour. So we will have I don't know if the race is starting at 3, it's not 3:10, it's at 3. So this is something connected to the historic starting moment of racing, and we are thinking how to keep the racing format alive in a different way. So we are talking with the teams, because of course it's important to have the opinion of the teams, but also the opinion of the stakeholders and the people like you that have an incredible experience, and we're gonna have dedicated meetings to prepare the right offer. I mean, we need to be sure that we don't lose any opportunity, and we need to be sure that we are not auto-referential in what we are offering, because this will be a big mistake.
The cars are changing dramatically for 2022. What have you seen of that, and how confident are you that we can further improve the show with these cars?
I mean, there has been a great focus on that regulatory change for 2022. I was discussing with Ross to go into the details of it, and I will discuss with the teams. For sure, that will be an incredible changing moment. I would say it could be a sliding doors of the future of Formula One. Therefore, there will be an incredible attention this year to make sure that what has been done in terms of strategic new approach will be followed by detailed regulation that has to keep in mind that the focus will be to have cars that allow drivers to have a better overtaking, better activity on the track, because this is the main focus.
What's the intel from Italy about Ferrari? Can they get their act together again? You must know people there giving you some inside info.
Well, you know, Martin, also as a matter of what I was for Ferrari and what I am today, you know, I think that my position is that we need Ferrari to be in the show, in the right dimension, in the right way. They passed through a difficult time, no doubt. They need to find the right way to go back on track. This year, you know, I'm expecting them to be better than last year for sure, because they had the time to at least work on the engine. That was the side of the allowed technical development that is possible to do with the actual regulation. And for sure, there is a lot of attention because Charles Leclerc is an incredible driver. Carlos Sainz, I can see, and from what I hear, is really starting the first days in Maranello with the right approach. And I think that even Toto would like to see Ferrari, and Christian would like to see Ferrari fighting for the championship.
Will you go to all of the races, and what are you most looking forward to in 2021?
Yes, I will go to all the races. I think it's correct to be there. I think that I want to share, you know, this intense activity. I don't want to lose anything. I need to receive inputs from everyone that is coming at the race. And I will use this time also to see if we can be better in terms of offer. And of course, I will use the time to have the meetings physically with people that I cannot see so often. I'm looking forward to have a start and to look forward to have a continuous calendar as it is planned today, because that is not given for granted so far today.
And full of fans, we hope. Stefano, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. I always learn a great deal.
Thank you, Martin, and looking forward to see you soon, really on the track. Bye-bye.
See you there.
Ciao.
See you there.
Ciao.
Ciao.